Arroz con Pollo, a classic Tampa stunner, always delicious and comforting. A one-pot meal that can be interchanged with virtually any protein. This Cuban dish is a must-add recipe. I'm Chef Jeannie Pierola. I'm a 5-time James Beard semifinalist and executive chef and owner of several award-winning restaurant concepts. Now I want to share some simple cooking techniques that will make you a better home cook and walk you through some delicious recipes that are sure to impress. This is Flavored by Flame. Hey everybody, I'm super excited to teach a dish to you today that I grew up on, Arroz con Pollo, yellow rice and chicken. Everyone knows it, but this is a killer version. I, for one, was born and raised in Ybor City and grew up in Tampa, and I'm thrilled to share this dish. We have some chicken. You can certainly go any way you want, any cut of chicken. I have some quarters that we've split in half. It's the thigh and the drumstick. Tons of flavor, tons of juiciness. I know it's the dark meat, but you can add a breast if you want. We're just going without one today. We're looking for a ton of flavor. So we're gonna quickly salt all the chicken. Seasoning it is the most important thing. We're gonna cook this whole dish. It's a one-pot wonder in this awesome Dutch oven. I'm gonna start my pan. You know how fast gas cooks. We want a medium-high heat to brown this chicken, and we're gonna start that. Back to the chicken, I'm gonna pepper it all. And then because we're looking for that very specific Latin profile, we're gonna add some cumin and a touch of oregano. This is fresh oregano. You can use dried. And you remember when you use fresh oregano, it's a flavor bomb. So you wanna use it lightly. It's very strong. Of course, we have to flip the chicken and season all the sides. That's critical. As our pan comes to temperature, I'm going to get ready to nap it with some olive oil and get our chicken going. Pepper. You know I'm going to whip out a pepper mill. It's obligatory in cooking demonstrations. Cumin again. And a touch more oregano. So now everything is seasoned on all sides. And you can actually do this overnight. You can do it 30 minutes before. You can do it right when you want to do it. Just know this, the longer that marinade, that flavor sits on that chicken, the deeper it's going to go. Into the pan, olive oil. Just to nap the bottom. And what we're looking for is a deep golden sear on this chicken. This is probably the most important step in developing flavor. We want to go skin side down because that's going to start the whole party. Now, we are not going to cook this chicken all on the stovetop at this time. It's all going to finish in the oven with the rice. That's why this first step is so important. So we're going to let this go for a while and get an awesome golden brown deep crust. We want to leave it kind of undisturbed because the way to get that crust and that hard sear is to let it just sit. You got to have a little confidence that the pan will do the work for you, that the gas will do the work for you, the heat. Skin has a lot of fat to it, so what you're trying to do is render that fat. Now that I've got my chicken golden, I'm going to start adding my other elements. Chorizo. You don't always put chorizo in yellow rice, but I love chorizo. This is what makes ours a little different. Onions. Here I have yellow, red, and jalapeno peppers. Brunoise, cut very small. Because when you're cooking with rice, you want the vegetables to kind of mirror the rice. Make it easy to eat. Now we want that chorizo to render out. The sofrito to start to cook. And as that begins to go, We're going to add some garlic, about a tablespoon of garlic, some crushed tomatoes, about a cup. We're going to stir all this through. Now that it's going, I'm going to add some white wine, about a half a cup. Then I'm going to crumble the saffron. So I've got about a teaspoon of saffron. I'm going to crumble it right in here. A little extra. And then we're going to add our rice right in. What we want to do is stir it through so that the rice is completely coated in the base of flavors we've developed here. The saffron will begin to bloom. You can already start to see the golden color. We want to get everything coated with the sofrito, all the rice buried in the sofrito with the chorizo and the chicken. Just keep turning it all over till you get everything coated and covered. So now, homemade chicken stock, 2 cups of rice, 4 cups of stock. And again, I kind of want to make sure I bring it all together. Make sure all the rice is covered, because all we're going to do is pop this in the oven and finish it. Once we got all that going, we're going to stick in some bay leaves. I'm going to add green olives to mine, and the reason I do that is because it's just tremendous flavor, tremendous additional flavor. We finish with piquillo peppers and peas, and we'll talk about that when we do that. But we're going to stir in the olives. Some people actually like capers. Some people don't like any of this stuff. But I think it creates an extraordinary balance. I think I have everything in there for now, so I'm going to put a lid on it, take it off the burner, and put it in the oven and finish it. We're going to finish it 375 degrees for about 30 minutes. The chicken should be ready, the rice should be fluffy, and you should be ready to go. One more thing. Nobody thought of this? I need to salt it. Give it a little bit of salt, some extra pepper, and one more drizzle of olive oil, just to bring some richness as it cooks. Stir that one more time. So you might have noticed when you were browning the chicken, all the little brown bits stuck to the bottom of the pan. And when you add all this liquid, the wine deglazes it and brings all those pieces up. It's called the fond, and it is really the base of your flavor. You always want to restore, kind of rehydrate those parts at the bottom of your pans, because it really brings a tremendous amount of flavor. So when you use a full, heavy lid like this, it allows everything to be inside, stay inside, both the heat and the steam, and it creates fluffy, beautiful rice. And that's what we're looking for. So this is going to go in the oven, 25 to 30 minutes, and we're getting ready to make some plantains to go with it. My arroz con pollo with chorizo, piquillos, and you guessed it, plantains, is coming up. It's in the oven, probably halfway mark. It's almost ready to go, but it's still finishing. Now, you might not know this, but there are 3 ripenesses of plantains. For this ripeness, which is turning black, it's called Platinos maduros, and that's what we're going to serve with our yellow rice and chicken, our arroz con pollo today. Why? Because it's so sweet, so caramelized, so delicious. So we just take off the ends, cut a line right through, peel the plantain. Very simple to do. Can you tell I've been doing this all my life? And we're going to cut them because they're ripe. A little bit thinner on the bias. And then we're going to start frying them. I want my oil to be at 375. I have it at medium-high heat. Takes a few minutes to get there. As soon as it starts to bubble like that, you know you're close. When you're frying and you're putting something in the fryer, always lay it down away from yourself so you don't splash yourself. These are very fast to cook. We're just looking for deep, golden caramelization. Frying the plantains is actually something you want to kind of do at the last stage, because you want your plantains to be hot when you're serving it with your yellow rice and chicken. So I'm going to let these go for a bit, probably 3 minutes aside, 3 to 4 minutes aside. Plantains are done, nice and golden. I've got my drain ready, and we want to drain them off. And try and get off as much oil as you can because they are smoking hot. Now, like anything you fry, we're going to season it the second we get it all out because the heat will draw in the salt and it'll season the entire plantain. Just a little touch of salt, and these plantains are ready to go. So I've just pulled this out of the oven. I know it's not done yet, but this is that step I told you about. When you lift the lid, be aware of steam. You might want to catch it so you don't burn yourself. And as you can see, the rice is starting to cook. It's almost probably 2/3 of the way there. And this is when we want to add the peas and the piquillos. You just kind of want to stir some of the peas in, just very lightly, very loosely. Looks good to me. And then we're going to do the same thing with the piquillo peppers. Now this is a roasted Spanish bell pepper. You can absolutely roast your own red bell pepper and create this exact thing. But I just want to urge you one time to try piquillos. They're in the store, you can buy them. There's a deeper depth of flavor to a piquillo pepper you don't get in a regular bell pepper. So this is the kind of stuff chefs like to do. We're just going to spread these around, kind of stir them in as well. As you can see, the rice is really almost getting there. Back in the oven. Probably 10 or 12 more minutes, and this is going to be ready to eat. So when you get ready to plate your dishes, you want to be thoughtful about how you put the plate together. Because even though you already know it's delicious, you want to make it look as delicious as you think it's going to be. So thoughtfulness and care in plating and trying to design something that you're happy with will make you feel better when you get it to the table and it's your turn to eat. So it took about 30 minutes. Our yellow rice and chicken is ready to go. Let's look at it. Looks pretty awesome. I'm going to make a plate. I want to finish it with a little fresh parsley. And a little, on the other side, I have a little bit of minced chive. And that's pretty much what's for dinner. But now we're going to plate it. You may recall I put 2 bay leaves in. You always want to remove the bay leaves before you plate. You don't want anyone to end up with that in their mouth. So I would start by trying to find a piece of chicken and getting that on the plate first. Maybe one thigh and maybe a drumstick. And get some of this wonderful rice chorizo. Piquillos, the whole deal. We're going to come with a little bit more parsley and chive. Mix them up. Just a little bit. Put it around the plate. We're going to come through a little bit of citrus, a little bit of orange, because I love a little citrus in my yellow rice and chicken. And a little micro cilantro to finish. There you have it. Arroz con pollo with piquillo peppers, green olives, Platinos. It is truly a one-pot wonder. Check it out. You won't be disappointed. For more information about energy-efficient natural gas and available appliance rebates, visit peoplesgas.com/rebates.